Alright guys, in this video we're going to be looking at direct variation. Now first of all, direct variation simply represents a proportional relationship. And what I've done here is given you some examples of direct variations. Y equals 3x would be one example, y equals 1/2 x would be another, y equals x, and y equals negative 1/3 x. These are all examples of direct variations. Now we're going to look at some characteristics of all of these four equations and see what they all have in common. First of all four of these are linear. So when we're talking about direct variations, we are talking about a linear equation. Next thing we should notice about these are all four of these have a y-intercept of 0. Alright, so they all have a y-intercept of 0. We're also going to notice that because they all have a y-intercept of 0, if we were to graph these, they would all go through the origin. So all of these are going to go through the origin. If I were to graph these, all four of these graphs would go through the origin. Another thing we're going to notice is that all of these four equations are written in the form y equals mx. There is no b. Remember, we said there is no y-intercept. Now, because we're talking about direct variation, rather than using the letter m for slope, we replace that letter m with the letter k. So the equation that we're going to be using when we talk about direct variation is y equals kx. Now that k that you see right here, that k is going to represent what we call the constant of proportionality. So again, that letter k is going to represent what we call the constant of proportionality. And we can find that, k, that constant of proportionality, by taking our y value and dividing it by our x value. So again, some characteristics of direct variations are they're all linear. They're all going to have y-intercepts of 0, which means they're all going to go through the origin. They're all going to have the equation y equals kx. And remember, we're going to let that letter k represent the constant of proportionality. And we can find that constant of proportionality by taking the y value and dividing it by the x. Y divided by x is what gives us the constant of proportionality.